Hey everybody, welcome back to Art a la Carte and another exciting episode of the YouTube Artist Collective. This round is verses. Anything opposite, light, dark, sweet, sour, good, evil, all those kind of things. All of the different artists and guest artists in the YouTube Artist Collective are creating pieces to reflect that theme. There are also quite a few of you guys who enjoy following along and doing your own artwork influenced by this theme. And if you do, I would love to see them. So make sure to use the hashtag YouTube Artist Collective in either your social media or if you post a video so that we can find them. As you guys can see, I've already done the line work and inking for this piece. And sometimes I get you guys asking, why don't I show that process? And this is why. Because it is the most time-consuming part of creating these pieces. Not only that, but it changes so dramatically that, let me just show you a few of the ideas that I had thought to do for this theme. Now, these are just really quick little sketches. So the first one I was going to do was kind of a sweet and sour two girls. And then I thought, So then I went with an Alice in Wonderland and the Red Queen. Didn't quite jive with that one, but I liked the queen idea. So I thought maybe I would do a good queen, bad queen. Didn't care for that. And then I thought, let's do something more theatrical. So I went with a ballet piece. And ultimately, after even more that I didn't even save the sketches for those because I didn't like them, I ended up going back to the ballet piece and kind of taking the idea of that and the idea that I had for the two queens and merged that one together. So the idea for this piece was to do from the story of Swan Lake, where you have Odette, who is the white swan, and then you have the black swan, who in the story, if you don't know, the prince who is in love with Odette, but Odette has been cursed to be a swan until he confesses his love for her publicly. And he invites her to come to a ball, but instead, the evil sorcerer sends an imposter, which is a black swan, and she dances with the prince, and the prince confesses his love to her, thinking it's Odette, but it's not, and therefore Odette is heartbroken. There are a lot of different versions, movies, ballets, cartoons based on this plot, but it's these two beautiful ballet dancers. So I wanted to do a piece. Now, originally, when I had come up with this, I kind of showed a little sketch. I was having two completely different figures of them, and ultimately I decided it would be fun to make mirrored images of the same character, and they're only defined on how the artist chooses to color them. So both ballerinas are exactly the same. When I drew this digitally on my computer, which I used a Cintiq Wacom tablet and Clip Studio Paint to do the software, once I drew the first ballerina, then I copied and pasted her and then flipped her upside down. So they're exactly the same. And the reason I do most of my line art on the computer is because I enjoy coloring them so much that I want to share the line art with you. So when I can, I offer the line art on my Etsy shop for you guys to enjoy as well. If you're interested, I will leave a link in the description box below where you can go ahead and get a copy of this digital line art. You can copy it off as many times as you want and have fun coloring your own. Obviously, you don't need to color it exactly the same way that I'm coloring it. You can make your ballerinas any color you want. Now, as I said before, the thing that takes me the longest amount of time when creating these pieces is sketching and coming up with an idea and then having the piece actually survive through the line art process. If a sketch isn't exciting enough for me to put in the hours to do the line art, then I know it's not going to be exciting enough to make an actual coloring piece or a piece that I want to look at. So sometimes I really enjoy this sketch, but there's just something that's off with it. It doesn't mean that I totally throw away that sketch idea. I'll usually archive those sketches away and use them as either inspiration or base another drawing off of that sketch later on. It's a little bit more challenging when it's digital art. If you're doing traditional art, I enjoy keeping everything in a sketchbook so that I can go back and look through my sketchbooks. I don't know about you guys, but I love looking at people's sketchbooks, whether they're my old sketchbooks or other artists' sketchbooks. They're so much fun. And I noticed that a lot of artists have begun putting out little art books that are just sketches. And those are my favorite things to collect. I have been going to a lot of conventions lately, to Comic-Cons and things like that, and that's one thing I'm always on the hunt for. I have limited wall space in my studio. Collecting a lot of artwork to hang up is difficult, but collecting art books, I love that. If you're an artist and you have a sketchbook, make sure to put a link to or look at it in the description box below. I love collecting those. They're so much fun. Eventually, I would actually like to put a sketchbook collection of my own out, but right now I have been super crazy and busy, but I do have plans for that in the future. When I create digital art, sometimes it can be hard for me to remember to save all the different little sketches that I create. I usually always save the sketches for the finished pieces that I do, but there are, sometimes 10 or 20 sketches that happen before I get to a finished piece. So I'm trying to be a little bit better about saving all of them. So eventually someday I can put them into a compilation of fun, what goes inside my mind kind of collection art book thing. Anyway, here is the final piece. The blending and shading and all of that was insane. I think I probably broke my hand. My hand has totally decided it's going on vacation. No more art for a couple of days. I will have the original for sale on my Etsy shop, and I will hopefully have some prints of this up available soon. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any updates for those or future videos coming up. You can follow me on my social media, hit that notification bell, and then make sure to check out all the other YouTube artist collectives who have put up their pieces. There are some fabulous artists. Well, thank you guys again so much for hanging out with me, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you in another art video. Bye-bye.